So, hello and welcome to another demonstration for the Intelligent Golf site content area. We're going to be looking at formatting images this afternoon. I won't be focusing on the slideshow area. We're actually going to be doing that in the next demonstration. So this is just going to focus on basically adding an image to a web page and then formatting in the images. So it's going to cover sort of resizing the images and sort of aligning them over to the left or the right. So I know we've had a couple of questions where they've said, how can I align the image a bit like you do in Microsoft Word and then get text either sort of alongside the image, again, either to the left or the right hand side. You'll see that I've already logged into our demo support website and I've already gone in through the admin and site content area. So this video is going to make the assumption that you already know how to upload and actually insert the image already. And we're then just going to go into one of our pages within the website. I'm just going to go into this one here, which I created last time. And I'm just going to click Edit Content. Now inside here, I've just got a blank page. There's nothing actually on here apart from a form tag, which I used for a previous demonstration. Obviously, anyone who is modifying your own pages, you will have a lot more content and an actual design on the page rather than just this blank page, which I have, which is purely just for demonstration purposes on this website. Now I'm just going to take out the form tag, so it's nice and blank. There's nothing else in here. Then what I'm going to do is I'm just going to add in a simple title for the page. And then after that, we can add in the image and start formatting it. So I'm just going to write title page. There we go. And I'll set that to heading 1. So it's a lot bigger and actually looks like a title on the page. Then I'm going to go down a couple of lines. And I'm going to actually add in an image. So I've already got a couple of images uploaded onto a demo site. So if I just click image and browse server, I should get any of the previous images that we've used for our demonstrations. Now I'm just going to simply use this email header that we uploaded, actually for Hesketh. So I'm just going to actually just add that in there, and I'm going to click OK. Now what the image is going to do to begin with, because I didn't specify a height or a width, it's automatically going to go as big as it possibly can. And that means one of two things. Now, if the page is larger, so wider than the full width of the image, then you'll see this. And there'll still be some space to the right-hand side, or if I'd aligned it, then maybe to the left-hand side of the image. Now, if the image is actually bigger, wider than the page itself, it will use as much space as it could possibly take up on the page. So it may actually shrink itself down and actually use a lower width than what it actually is at 100%. If it does this, it will automatically adjust the height. So you won't have an image that will reduce its width but keep the height at the same time. You don't have to worry about formatting both of those options. It will just do one or the other. Now, if I say that the image is actually still too big and I want to change it, that's fine. I can just right click the image. I can go to image properties. And at this point, I can then start adding in some extra options. So you'll see here, and most of you may have seen this already, you have the maximum width and the maximum height here. Now, let's say, for instance, I actually want it to be 500 in maximum width. I'm going to leave the height blank just to show you that entering one value will essentially allow me to edit the other at the same time. So if I click OK, you'll see the width has now been modified, but it also did the height. I didn't need to worry about doing both. It will just do both at the same time. So it always keeps the same aspect ratio, which is really handy because you don't always want to be, having to work out and say, well, if I modify the width, what do I now need to enter as the height? Now at this point, I could say, right, that's fine. I'm just going to continue editing the page, and I could put a new line, and I could type in, this is some text. And I could just continue the page or the article if it's a news article and just carry on from there. Now, actually formatting the image, there's a number of things that we can do. Now, let's say, for instance, I don't want, this text to be underneath the image. I actually want it to be alongside it. Now, I could type in here, I could just click the mouse on the right hand side of the image, and I could write in some more text. And you'll see automatically it puts the text on the side of the image, but it's right in the middle. Now, if that is what you want it to look like, absolutely fine, there's no problem with that. We could just continue with the article, we could save it, and we're all done. But let's say if we actually want to embed the text a little more alongside the image. So we actually want more than one row of text along the right hand side or the left hand side. You'll see if I click the return key or the enter key, it goes straight underneath the image. So it doesn't allow us to do it straight away. The reason being is the image is just there. It's not actually aligned either to the left or the right hand side at the moment. What we're actually going to do is we're going to remove this blank line. We're going to select the image. Now, when you select the image, if you've done it correctly, you'll notice the image will highlight in blue. As you can see on my web page, the image is highlighted now. And at this point, I can then say, right, I want the image to be aligned to the left or the right hand side using these icons here, which you can see I'm highlighting. Those are exactly the same as if anyone's used Microsoft Word or any other similar program, you'll be able to do that as well. Now, if I click Align Left, all of the text now that I've entered, both this is some more text and this is some text, both of those appear on the right-hand side. Now this time, if I click the return key on the keyboard, I can then just keep typing more and more text alongside the image rather than it go underneath the picture. So I could say, this is some text next to the image. And I can keep going until I get right to the bottom of the image. So I could say, right, this is another example. This is another example. When I get down to the bottom of the image, then if I click return, it's at that point that the text will actually go underneath the image here. There we go. Now, if I decide that I actually don't want the image on the left-hand side, I can change my mind and I can just simply click on the image and select Align Right. And the image will then go on the right-hand side and the text will appear on the left-hand side. Now, if you do this, you'll notice that the text obviously does begin on the left-hand side, and there will be a gap between the text and the image. But I can keep typing, so I'm just going to so I'll just type in that, some random letters and characters, keep on going, and eventually it will just keep going. Now, when I type in, let's put a space there, do some more text. When I get to a point when I've got that much text it can't fit in one line, it will just go underneath, but it's still alongside the image. So that is basically how we go about formatting images. So you can resize them, you can align them. Now, the other thing to note, along with the rest of the website and all the other content that you may place onto any of your site content pages, is if you're viewing the page, whether it be a desktop PC with, a larger monitor, whether it be a tablet or a phone, as with any other content, the images are responsive. And what I mean by that is, depending on the screen size of the device you're currently using, all the content will shrink to fit that screen. So even though we've manually said, right, well, the maximum width is 500 on this picture, that's why it's the maximum width. So if the device size is smaller than that, or the width is smaller, then it will just keep shrinking it down and take up as much space as it possibly can, but it won't go over the side. That way you can ensure, without really having to worry about anything, you setting up anything separately, that the image will never be bigger than whatever the screen size is of the device that you're currently using. Therefore, you can set up one page and it's going to view exactly the same on your mobile phone, your tablet, and your desktop PC. So that's really all there is to formatting images. So we're going to cover slideshows in another demonstration next time. So hopefully that helps anyone who is, having trouble with sort of adding images, moving it about, and sort of aligning the text. So just make sure, again, if you are formatting it, you do select the image. It must be highlighted in blue, and then you just pick either the left or the right hand side. Okay, hopefully that's helpful, and we'll see you again shortly for another demonstration. Okay, cheers, bye.